The rapid fire aspect of this rap beef between Kendrick and Drake, I'm living. Oh, I'm eating.
They not really beefing. Female rap is just better than them right now. So they have to make a commotion so they can get sales.
Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So people are coming hard for Drake, and this all started up with the old Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef rap that is going on social media, and this has gotten a lot of people, and a lot of debt has been digged up of Drake. People, like, literally everybody's saying different thing about Drake, like bringing out different deaths on Drake's, and I'm just like, okay. And if you're like me, that don't know where this beef started from, where this old drama and everything started from, or you're kind of a little bit confused, I feel like some of us millennials are in this place. Don't worry, I got you. There's this content creator that broke everything down. I'll leave her name, but she really broke everything down to when it started, which is in 2011. She broke everything down, and me, I'm just like, okay, yeah, with my popcorn. But people were coming hard for Drake, talking about how he has a child, how he's a pedo, like crazy things, guys. Anyway, let's go check out the sister breaking it down and people's thoughts about the entire drama and different talking points of the drama and calling Drake out on different angles. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go on and subscribe to this channel because we post video every day and we have amazing conversations. So go on and and do your thing, okay, and subscribe. And if this is the first time you're seeing my face, hi, how you doing? It's your girl Destiny. I'm Destiny, and welcome to my channel. And my OGs, my regulars, my people, okay, how you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. Anyway, guys, let's go check it out, and then we'll come back and talk more.
If you have been wondering what the hell is going on between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, I got you. I'm gonna break it down for you in like a couple minutes. In 2011, Drake drops his probably best album, Take Care. He has a feature with Kendrick on that album titled Buried Alive. But at the time, Kendrick was very up and coming and Drake was on his second album. In 2012, Drake would go on to ask Kendrick and A$AP Rocky, who he now also has beef with, to be his opening acts on tour. In 2013, Kendrick is featured on the song Control with Big Sean, where he calls out a lot of the big names in rap and pretty much says, hey, I got a lot of love for y'all, but I'm trying to y'all. And Drake and Big Sean were two of the names that he calls out. Later that year, Kendrick comes for Drake again at the BET Awards Cypher, where he says, nothing's been the same since they dropped Control, and tucked a sensitive rapper back into his pajama clothes, and then also calls Drake a fake. In October 2023, Drake and J. Cole link up for the song called First Shooter. In J. Cole's verse, J. Cole says, I love when they argue who's the hardest MC. Is it K. Dot? Is it Aubrey? Or is it me? And if you didn't know, K. Dot was Kendrick Lamar's original stage name before he was Kendrick Lamar. J. Cole also says, we the big three, like we started the league. In March of this year, Kendrick is featured on a song called Like That with Future and Metro Boomin, where he says, MFing big three, it's just me. Basically saying, big three who? In April, Drake would go on to release his first diss track called Push Ups. In the song, he basically clowns Kendrick for being 5'5". He also brings up Lamar's previous record label, Top Dog, saying, Top Dog told you drop and give me 50 like it's push-ups, but what he's referring to is like 50% of all of his earnings go to the label. Drake drops another diss track called Taylor Made Freestyle. In the song, he suggests that Kendrick is likely waiting for Taylor's new album to drop so that he could then drop his diss track. Now, if y'all remember, Kendrick's first #1 was actually featuring on Taylor Swift's Bad Blood, and Drake suggests that Taylor is basically Kendrick's new top dog. Kendrick hits back with the song called Euphoria. In it, he calls out Drake's alleged plastic surgery. He comes for Drake's skin color, asking how many more black features do you need to feel black enough? And he also calls out Drake and his label, saying that they submitted a cease and desist to try to get the song Like That Kendrick originally made off the radio. Just yesterday, Kendrick then drops a response. In the song, he asks Drake if he's ever considered that someone on Drake's label OVO is working for him. And he also calls out Drake for paying to get info on Kendrick. The same day, Drake comes out with the song called Family Matters. He calls out Kendrick for being a fake activist. He also questions why Kendrick would call him out on his skin color when his long-term partner is a mixed queen. And Drake is mixed too. He also alleges that Kendrick has hit his partner, asking, when you hit a girl, is it self-defense because she's taller than you? Saying that Kendrick had to hire a crisis management team after finding out about her infidelity and hitting her. And literally just minutes later, Kendrick responds with a song called Meet the Grams, where he does 4 different verses. One is addressed to Adonis, Drake's son. One is addressed to Sandra, Drake's mom. One is addressed to Drake. And another verse is addressed to this baby girl who is 11 years old, who is allegedly also Drake's daughter, who he never sees, has never spoken publicly about. He calls out Drake for allegedly having offenders of the Nicki Minaj's husband type on payroll. It is brutal. He calls Drake a deadbeat, an alcoholic, a user of substances. He tells Adonis, don't cut corners like your daddy did, F.O. Zempic. And in addressing that daughter that Drake has never spoken about, he says that instead of being with her on her 11th birthday, Drake is out in Turks and Caicos paying for physical activity with women. Oh, and he also calls out Drake for hiding other children besides those 2. And that is all the beef we have so far. I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what comes next. But also, can we just talk about how every time Drake gets into beef with someone, he gains another love child?
He just opened a can of worms with this one. Have you ever paid $500,000 to like an open case? I can say whatever y'all want to say, but it's a whole nother ball game when it ain't no cap in your raps. How did I miss this? A $350,000 settlement to an assault victim. June 18, 2019. The complaint obtained by the blast was recently filed by Laquana Morris, aka Layla Lace, with the New York Attorney Grievance Committee. Says I, Laquana Morris, signed a retainer agreement with Alexander C. on January 23, 2018. I explained to him that I was by the rapper Drake, how Drake forced me to perform on him. It wasn't your ordinary, it was more so, and then they blanked out the rest of the complaint. I did not know this, y'all. See, that's what rap beef do. Like, at the end of the day, I told y'all before, probably last year or something, long time ago, when I made that video about Drake, and I was like, I feel like the Drake expose is gonna really, it's gonna be crazy.
I guess it's up.
How did he hide this? Even from his last beef that he was in, I don't remember nobody bringing this up. Do y'all remember this? Am I tripping?
I first heard this new track by Drake, my initial reaction was pure disgust. Pure disgust. And I did not hide that on my face. But since y'all want an insight, since y'all want a breakdown, here it is. Off jump, the caption he used on Instagram to announce this new track was basically him giving up. How you gonna say he has more songs coming? You sound defeated. And this is the same Drake who literally put together a music video for one of the diss tracks, and you're telling me the best he could do for a cover image for this was a screenshot of a comment? That's it? Do you know what should have been the cover image for this track? Screenshot of the text messages between you and the mole that you used to plant these information. Because if that's what you really did, you should have led with that. In one line, you clown the source of information that Kendrick has, and then literally 3 lines later, in the same verse, you said that you plotted with them for the information. So are you calling the people you plotted with clowns? Are there 2 separate groups of people giving information? You're contradicting yourself, and it's hypocritical. Kendrick straight up called you a master manipulator, and you responded by saying, yes, I did in fact lie. Riddle me this. Why would you plant information that makes you look bad? And if you really did plant this information, which I do not for a second believe that he did, then you are basically copping to the fact that you put an 11-year-old girl in the line of fire. We had people digging up pictures of this young girl, put her face all across the internet, just to prove a point, Drake. That's what you're telling us? You're telling me that Aubrey Graham, Drake, one of the pettiest rappers in the industry, did not have a pre-recorded, pre-produced, ready-to-go track exposing the fact that he put these lies into Kendrick's ear. You want me to believe that? You're telling me someone who planned this intricate, long game thing with Kendrick jumped on Instagram stories within 10 minutes of Meet the Grams dropping to deny this 11-year-old daughter, but you provided that information. What that IG story should have been was receipts. You don't have to look for police reports. You don't have to look for witnesses. You planted it. Take a screenshot of the text messages, or maybe you can't because you didn't. And then imagine claiming that you're some sort of master kingpin manipulator who's planting information. You can't even get your own information correct. Setting aside the fact that you were trivializing the of a young child, you got it wrong. He fully says in the track Mother I Sober that he didn't get touched, and he tried to tell his mother, but his mother didn't believe him because of her past with being a child. Not only did you get your information wrong, you're now technically making fun of that man's mother's trauma. You should be afraid. And the part that really got to me, that really like stopped me in my tracks, is the fact that he evoked the name of Epstein for no good reason. You could have refuted these allegations without bringing that name into it, because now you are inextricably tied to the word Epstein, you dummy. You then said that that was the angle that you expected. Why? Why did you expect that angle, Drake? And just like a word of advice, if you have to go ahead and Google the age of consent to justify an action, that action is probably not a good one. And then in another huge Freudian slip, you bring up Millie Bobby Brown, who I need to tell the class, Kendrick has not once brought up in this entire rap beef. And then saying that you're too famous to be doing what you're doing because you would have been arrested totally diminishes the decades it took for the victims of people like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Jared Leto, Polanski to come out Trump. He literally walked head first into the point and is still confused. It is so absolutely irresponsible to say the things he said in this track, knowing that his demographic is made up mostly of young men who are wrapped up in this incel red pill culture. You are inciting. You have angry little boys in my comments saying, oh, how come no victim has stepped forward? How come no victim has come and said anything? Meanwhile, it is estimated that less than 1 out of 3 cases are reported every year. And on top of that, did you give up? Have you tapped out of this rap battle? Because when you say things like, I don't want to diss you anymore, this really got me second guessing, I take that as you bowing out and by default losing this battle. And it feels insidious. It feels like you are questioning our intelligence. You are minimizing, infantilizing, and basically mocking. And if you don't have a moral line as a fan of Drake and you think that's okay, go on, big up yourself. Me personally, I have morals, and this track was disgusting. And now I'm gonna speak to both Drake and Kendrick. Stop using women as a punchline. Stop using women as your ammunition, as your gotcha moment. Don't you both be men, square up, and leave women out of your mouth.
This might be so childish of me, but I love man mess. The rapid fire aspect of this rap beef between Kendrick and Drake, I'm living. Oh, I'm eating. What's more than eating? Oh, I'm feasting. Because in 616, Kendrick was like, hey, guy, you got some leakers. You got some people in your camp that are spreading all your things and are preying on your downfall. And of course, everybody's like, yeah, okay. Drake releases his song, and 30 freaking minutes later, Kendrick releases a response. Do you know how impossible that is? Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means that Drake has leakers. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I feel like that means that somebody in Drake's camp leaked the song right on over to Kendrick's camp, allowing him to make a response and release it immediately after Drake releases. He didn't even let Drake's return, he didn't even let it marinate. He didn't even let it sit for a second before now we have to digest. Drake has another child. He has a daughter, an 11-year-old floating around out there, and possibly more others. Took the wind immediately out of Drake's sails. This is crazy. Maybe this isn't very feminist of me, but I love man mess. I love man drama.
So I just listened to Drake's reply, The Heart Part 6, and I will admit, this is the hardest he's gone, but the more I listen to it, the math ain't mathin' from Drake's take. Follow along with me real quick. You telling me that you planted possibly career-ending information into this very viral situation that all the internet is watching in this climate? The Diddy climate? The all eyes on Justin Bieber, what happened to him when he was a kid climate? Right? And you knew you were going to be on the defense. As a matter of fact, you go on to say that you suspected he was going to call you a child, which is a weird thing to suspect about yourself. But you knew you were going to be on the defense, and the only thing you say is, nuh-uh, where's your proof? Meanwhile, right, the internet has been doing its thing over the past 24 hours, bringing up receipts that are very questionable and sus at the very least. And then I'm watching a Reddit thread from 5 years ago talking about your high school so young line or whatever. You was bad back in high school 5 years ago, asking if that was sus, and now it's definitely looking sus. And then with respect to plotting all of this information, right, you said the people you got the information from were clowns, but go on to say that you was plotting for a whole week with him. And I think the cherry on top of this all was in response to allegations of being a child, you bring up someone else's when they were a minor? I mean, I know everything is fair in rap. That's just a little goofy to me. And like a really weird angle to take. Like even weirder than your angle of saying you're too famous to get you're too famous to not get arrested. Like, come on, we know what this world looks like. Come on, y'all. The math ain't mathing. 4 + 4 = 8, and 9 + 10 does not equal 21.
For all the Drake Glazers defending his ish, defend this. This is him with Millie Bobby Brown, and at this age, at this osh-bakosh ass age, he was DMing her. And he didn't publicly speak out defending his weird, inappropriate relationship with her until she was 19 years old. There's a reason for that. It's called homie. Because it's way easier to defend this than it is to defend this type of thing right here. And as a parent, if you're DMing my minor child at the age of 30 anything, we gonna have big problems, homie. But everybody knows this isn't a one-off for Drake because he was doing the same exact thing with Billie Eilish while she was underage. And he was doing shameful stuff in public with absolutely no shame. Billie said 18 tomorrow. Drake said, I've been waiting. What is that emoji? Memes. Remember these? I just want y'all to understand that these types of creatures, they know that what they are doing is wrong. So if somebody is comfortable enough to be outrightly in public, imagine what they've been doing in private. I think we all know that it's time that they raid the embassy.
You know, when I made that video saying that Drake is only the #1 rapper still because he's biracial and profiting off of his white privilege, everybody was in the comments trying to come for me, acting like I didn't know what I was talking about. I know a lot of y'all lack critical thinking skills, so let me connect the dots for y'all, okay? When Drake first came out, he pandered to black women, and that was very smart of him. One thing you can't say about Drake is that he's dumb. Very smart, because Drake knew that black women shape the culture when it comes to, you know, pop culture and hip-hop, for black people at least. He knows that black women move it. So he knew that he had to get black women on his side to gain the traction and the audience. But about 2 albums ago was when I checked out of the whole Drake fan club, because that album that he did with 21 Savage, when he dedicated a portion of his track list to disrespecting black women, I exited the chat. Because now he feels like it's okay to crap on black women, because why? We are no longer his core audience anymore. His core audience is now white men. Okay? And why are white men his core audience now? Because he's half white. Like, that's not even, like, that's common sense to me. He felt so comfortable disrespecting black women because he's smart. He knows that if he lost his black woman audience, it would not affect him anymore because we are not his core audience anymore. So I really love how, one thing about Kendrick, I'm gonna always appreciate him, because every point of contention that I've ever had towards Drake, he put it in one song. You had to be bullied into being a father. You try to get with underage girls. You disrespect black women, the same people that put you on the map because, oh, you don't need us no more because you half white and you got your white audience. Okay, Drake, do you. That's fine. But I really, I can't even hold it against y'all, because I know a lot of y'all can't, like, think outside the box and, like, think, you know, below surface level. But I be peeping stuff like that. I'm just like, yeah, we are not his core audience. White people are. And why? Because he's half white. He's able to reach them. Like, that just seems like common sense to me. But shout out to Kendrick. I haven't listened to the song, but a lot of his talking points, I was just like, that's very much true. I don't want to hear him say the N-word no more either.
What we're seeing right now with Drake and Kendrick Lamar is a perfect example of cultural competency and what happens when you lack it. Am I about to DEI a rap beef? Yes, keep up. Let's talk about it. If you were surprised Drake is being called out as a culture vulture, you haven't been really paying attention to what's been happening within Black culture over the past few years. Black people have become very aware and very vocal and verbal about gatekeeping the culture and revoking these invites to the cookout that were being given away for free. Not only being given away for free, but being given to people who were mimicking aspects of Black culture, being able to do Black dances, being able to rap, do, you know, these silly, oh, she gets an invite to the cookout. Here's where Drake comes into play. Yes, he is a biracial man with a Black American father. However, Drake is not of Black American culture. Drake has no cultural literacy or understanding of Black culture or respect for Black history, Black culture, specifically the Black American experience, which is why he was able to get on a track and use slavery, American slavery, as a bar. Drake hasn't changed. I imagine Drake is sitting somewhere very surprised he's on the receiving end of this backlash, because Drake hasn't changed. What's changed is the appreciation of Black culture. And when I say appreciation of Black culture is actually not a correct term. What has changed is the understanding, the appreciation of Black culture that we are seeing within society over the past few years. We are now more connected than ever. We are able to connect with one another on social media. And not only are we able to connect with one another, we see the ways in which our culture is being appropriated, and not only the ways in which Black culture is being appropriated, but people are profiting off of it in a way Black Americans are not able to. This is in front of our face every single day we get on this app, and Black people are pissed about it. Rap music is a creation. It was birthed from Black American culture, Black American struggle, the Black American experience. When you have somebody like Drake, who is not only not of that culture, but has no respect for or appreciation of that culture, and is the top grossing male rapper in the culture, or in the genre rather, that's going to piss a lot of people off. On top of it pissing a lot of people off, Drake never came into rap music paying homage or giving respect to the rappers who came before him. Drake doesn't have an appreciation of Black culture outside of the ways he can use it to cosplay a rapper and the ways he can use it to enrich and benefit himself. That's where his issue lies, because there's a difference between appreciation and appropriation. We've been seeing the same type of appropriation from Drake since he got into the game, but there is an increased appreciation for Black culture and an increased desire to protect it and respect it, and that's where Drake is getting messed up, because he is not respectful of Black culture at all. Drake doesn't care about Black people. Not only is he not respectful of Black culture, he does not seek to educate himself, and there is no literacy there, there is no competency there, there is no understanding there, and there is no desire for any of that to happen on Drake's behalf.
Okay. Let me know down in the comment section. Did you hear about this beef? What are your take on these different talking points? Because it's almost like a cancan one was open on Drake, and everybody's coming out really hard for him and really talking. I personally, I really don't have much to say about this, and this is where why the only reason why I made this video was that everybody and anybody was talking about it, and I was like, my people will probably like this and like this discourse. I know that I personally, this is not down my alley. I don't listen to recent rap. I've listened to a couple of Drake and Kendrick songs, I know that, but I'm not really solely invested in it. If you guys know, I'm a millennial, I'm an early millennial, so I'm still stuck on my 90s rap and all that. So these new school, I'm almost for my girls. Like, I think I listen to a lot of Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Mega Thee Stallion. You know, my girls, like, for the main rappers, I don't know which other main rapper is doing this thing that you think match up to what the old school 90s, early 2000 rappers were doing, because that's where I checked out. So I don't really have much to say, but yeah, people are calling Drake's daughter out. People are finding the little girl out. She's just 13 or so. Like, a whole like, so much has been talked about Drake, and for me, I don't really like. I have anything to say. I don't know who is winning or not winning the bar, but clearly it looks like Kendrick is winning this beef rap. And some people are saying that probably this is just a stage beef because nobody's talking about main rappers. And I get that. I feel like I know more female rapper, and I listen to more female rapper of this time, of this era, than the male rappers, the men rappers. So, yeah, that could be it, but I don't know. Not my cup of tea anyway. So, but if it's your cup of tea, let me know what you think. I like to read you guys. Like, I just listen to people talk. I'm like, oh, really? I like discourse. Apparently, if you don't know, I like people having discourse and sharing thoughts and opinion. So feel free to share your opinion. I would love to read your own take on this. Okay, so go on and share this video with someone that you think should join in this conversation, and please keep it respectful. Go on and give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl. Yeah. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. This is the one video I don't really have anything to say. That's weird. I usually have a lot to say about everything, but this one I don't know. I don't know. Alright, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.